Hi guys, it's me, Canada from the Outside Nation here. Today we're doing another Pinky Tales, but this one is a little bit different than some of the other ones. This is actually a joke video, and it's actually kind of a funny one. It involves Discord basically taking over the entire story and basically making it his own, and it's quite an entertaining thing. I guess with anything Discord, it's quite entertaining. So it starts off with Discord sort of hijacking the whole thing instead of making it, what is actually. I think if you guys can read this, I know it's kind of blurry on my screen, but it's called Pinky Tails Saddle Aladdin or whatever. It's a parody of Aladdin, and that's I guess what was supposed to be the original story, but before Discord takes over and he changed it, calls it the three Goldilocks, Goldichaos, or something like that, and the three princesses. And so yeah, the story starts. So the story is being narrated by Maggie Pie, which is the narrator, which is the one who created Pinky Tales. The story goes off, and it starts off with Celestia, and basically a male with Celestia with a male voice, and each of them are sort of exaggerated. As Celestia loves and praises the sun in a hilarious way. Luna is very gloomy and dark and sort of emo, and Cadence is, of course, shipping Pony. She ships everyone. So, yeah, it's basically very exaggerated characters, and I'm going to try to explain this as the best as I can because it's kind of a crazy story. But each of them, Celestia is looking at the sun and staring at it. Luna's trying to get Gluma is trying to get Celestia away from the sun, so of course, her eyes don't burn, but of course, Celestia doesn't care. And she ends up talking to Cade and Shippence, who is more curious about shipping ponies and stuff like that. And after a little bit of that, it cuts to them deciding, of course, eating porridge, as Goldilocks and Three Bears goes. And each of them sort of have a porridge that is basically to them. So when they're about to eat the porridge, they all spit it out because apparently it's not to their taste. Celestia goes that this porridge is far too cold for me, and prays to the sun that that your rays will make this burning hot with fire, and basically gives a description about that. So while the porridge is being warmed up, they all go out and for a walk. While Celestia and Gluma and Shippence are going to go for a walk, Discord comes up and he is wearing a Twilight's mane, and of course you have a little thing going on, a little fourth wall break with Twilight yelling that her mane's gone and stuff. And Discord sort of does some shtick or comedy routine with the guard, because the guard won't let him in, so he basically turns him into the trombone rarity from Rarity Trombone thing from another Pinky Tail, Apple Pig, and so many other things, and just basically has a funny time. Finally, the guard just can't deal with this too much shtick, and he lets him in. He goes in, he comes across the porridge, and the narrator calls out the narrator and told him that, and stop calling me a he and call me a girl, because apparently that's supposed to be, reference to the Goldilocks, and of course, so she starts calling Discord she instead of a he, and Discord tries the porridge, and of course, Celestia is just far too hot and burns his tongue. Luna has an interesting bowl. It's a skull, but it's far too cold. And Shippence, he's a little more of the hill case. Some have kindness or cuties, kindness and compassion from it, because the porridge is bubbling hearts and Shippence hearts. And he eats it, but something's not right. But he needs a chair, so he goes off to the chairs, and he goes to Celestia's, and Celestia's looks like one of those, I don't know, not beanbag chair. It's the ones that has like the metal. Basically, it's sort of like a bowl on on like a leg or something. It's one that a lot of people use to sit and relax. And apparently, when he sits in it, it lights him on fire and stuff. And he goes up and crashes to the roof, jumps up and hits the roof, and gets stuck in the roof. He goes to Luna's, and it's full of spikes and stuff. And he yells that he's being stuck with something. He pulls out a pea, and he's like, I'm a princess after all." And he goes to Cadence and Shippin's chair, and he doesn't really like it because it's too snug and it's not his color, so he changes it to a chair that's more fitting for him. So he decides to eat his porridge, but it's far too cold now. He's like, yeah, well, time for bed now. So he goes to bed, and he sort of finds out, it's like, okay, the first two are far better, are not as good, and the last one's always far better, but he's like, hell with it, I'll do it anyway. Or I don't see a pattern with this at all. And he jumps into Celestia's chair, and he gets tied down with like shackles, and puts over a headset on his phone and listens to Gluma basically talking about how the sun isn't a god, it's a flaming ball of gas and stuff. He's like, oh, ponies, silly lullabies, and he just jumps out magically. Then he goes to Gluma's, and basically it's a coffin, and he starts sinking down while the coffin's closed, and it's like basically sort of, I guess, a version of him getting buried to death. put down in the ground, and he says, no, this bed's far too soft. He's like, this bed was too soft anyway. And then he goes to Shippin's, and he basically just falls asleep, and he finds out this bed's just right and falls asleep. After a while, the princesses come back, and they find out, this is the part that I like from it, because Celestia goes absolutely nuts, and she finds out that something has been eating her porridge, and she basically states that all of them are the same, but none of them care. Luna's kind of like aloof to everything. Cadence is more worried about shipping Luna with a guard, and which is hilarious bit. And finally they go to the chairs, and they discuss, someone's been chair, and why, to each of them, and to Luna. Luna asks, why do I have to sit in this chair and stuff, and Shippins is still trying to ship Luna and the guard. So finally, it all, she gives up with that. She actually gives up with that shipping, and ships two guards with another guard, ships the guard with someone else with another guard. And finally, they go to the bed, and Celestia starts investigating that someone slept in her bed. Someone's slept in Luna's, but Luna assumes that, it's just the people cleaning, and but Shippin sort of, says, we have an intruder, and they go to Shippin's bed. It's basically destroyed. But of course she doesn't care, and, before he wakes up, and before they're actually discussing about everything, Pinkie Pie just shows up, because apparently he basically states that he tied Pinkie Pie up somewhere because, he took over the show instead of Pinkie Tails, it's Discord Tails. And he basically, and Pinkie Pie comes out and starts beating up Discord and tells Discord to say that, they lived happily ever after at the end and stuff, and it cuts off, and it goes to Pinkie Pie trying to tell the Pies' story while the Pies are actually asleep. The cakes are, not only pies, the actual cakes are asleep, the baby cakes are asleep, and it ends with that, and Pinkie's like, oh no, and it ends. That's basically, I know I tried to explain it real quickly, but these stories are kind of short, they're basically one-shots, and it's a really funny story. I definitely suggest you guys go check that out. It's absolutely hilarious story, and it's super funny. So yeah, once again, this is by Pinkie Tails, basically Maggie Pie, and I hope that you guys really enjoyed it. It's once again a joke video, so it's not meant to be taken seriously. So yeah, I hope you guys hope you guys love the story. I'm Kenna, and goodbye.